Hi everyone, welcome on the channel for new battle report. This is the third game of the tournament Leash Academy. I'm facing a KOE player. You know already my list. This was my opponent's list. He's playing two single model, two paladin on hippogriff with a ward save against fire and a good armor save, good weapon. Then he has a master druidism who is sainted. He has a folk hero BSB. He has then a unit of 13 realm knights, 2 units of surgeon, a unit of quest, so 4 knight unit, 2 unit of enlisted outlaw, and then 2 friar lantern. We were playing breakthrough on Dawn Assault, and below you have the spell selection. So as you can see, a minimal magical setup for both of us. What can I say about the matchup quickly? Yeah, 2 fire ward save hippo will not be so easy to manage for me. But I have the Torque Anointed and the Overlord that can both be counter to them, and also my shooting and range damage. So I'm not without any answer, but I need to be careful that they are not in a position to block my fire striking unit. Getting first turn I think would be an advantage in this game because we both know where we would deploy and I would be able to take the map, so taking some ground advantage. The map, as you will see, is rather problematic for me in this matchup because yeah, on the path to the breakthrough, it's not so easy. There are some pieces of terrain that are annoying, potentially for shooting or for steadfast. Estimation, I felt overall it's a drawish matchup. Not the best matchup for me, but it's still playable. Deployment-wise, so as I was telling you, I think he won the roll. I won the roll for side, sorry. And as you can see, it's quite annoying because Dawn Assault, so I will need to use one part of the table to push. Right side is annoying due to the house. You don't want to push through the house, and the lake not so great. And if I drop on the right, there would be a forest in the middle that he could stop in to get some cover and then get the charges. I don't want him to have that, so I want to deny him the forest and not be annoyed by the house. So that's why I took this side, and also I have a hill that could be potentially interesting for me. And he dropped for first turn. He plays the scouting outlaws after my deployment, obviously on this part of the Dawn Assault. Then he has one hippogriff, the other one on the other side, the 2 surgeon, the realm, the quest, and the 2 lantern also scouting in the forest. My counter deployment, I place on the far left the vassal levies, then the lugars, then I have the bastion, the fast cav in the back, more than 6 inches away from the hill. Then here we have the unit of Infernal Warrior with Blunderbuss, my Overlord, Kadim Titan, and the Troik Anointed on the far right. Just make him think twice about breakthrough, and potentially if he moves towards the middle, try to be aggressive. It could potentially be annoying with them, and also like I said, there are good counter to this one, so I have one on the left, one on the right, which makes sense. What I didn't consider enough, it's the first time I was facing the lantern, and there is one aspect which is those lantern could scout in the forest, move over me, make me -3 on the charge range, which is annoying, and then move out, and at any point move in front of me, chaff me. They are fearless, so they will not be scared by terror check. So I'm going to be in trouble right away because I didn't anticipate what they could do since my opponent had the turn 1. And the second big problem for me, I think I put some, no, I didn't put any color here, but this left flank here, as you can see, we have the lugars that we need to push towards the breakthrough zone, which is here. And at the same time, I have to deal with those guys, and I didn't identify straight away that after a couple of rounds of shooting, the vassal will not be in a state, or will not be able to engage with those units, which is an issue because I have nothing really to threaten them in combat quickly. Let's move on to his turn 1, so he moves to the side with both paladin to be a bit wider and move forward with different cavalry unit, and as you can see, he starts to bother both units by moving over me, making me -3 on the move, which allows him to push furthermore. Should have been more careful about that. I will talk about that at the end of the battle report, how I could have deployed to make that harder for him. Magic Face, he got the 2d6 strength 4 on the bastion, kill one guy and nothing else. Let's move on to my turn 1. So I try to readjust to the new problems. So I put the fast cav here in the way to cover the movement in case he failed the march check. I could charge him. I move slightly back with the Titan and the Troik Anointed to zone him and force him to chaff me at least. And then left flank, I place, I was surprised to see the Hippogriff moving to the side because I can get range damage on him. I'm in range for Gravecall, Mark for Doom, Toxic Press, so that could hurt him. In the magic phase, I get a breast weapon, get 2 6s in the shooting phase on this paladin, so he's on 2 wounds left. And then I failed the Gravecall on 3 dice, unfortunately, but I got on 1 dice back the Rot Within on the Quest Knight, so this is not bad at all. His turn 2, so he realized that the Hippogriff cannot stay here because he will die to shooting and magic, so he moves him away. Move slightly forward, and here he took something that was really surprising for me. He took a charge on the Titan with the Sergeant. It's a charge on a 10 Swift Ride. I was quite surprised because I think it's a very dicey combat that he might lose. I mean, striking before him, he has first of all a shaky fear check to take, and it's a scoring unit. He might lose it. He might give me a free pivot or pursuit and then a charge in something. I could free pivot and then maybe double charge the lantern. I could have plenty of options. So I was quite surprised by the choice of his charge. I would say luckily for him he failed it. I will show you in a moment the stat. Other than that, he just moved a bit forward with different unit. In the magic phase, also he passes the March test with the lantern, I think on the 7, to move over me and not be chargeable by the Vassal Cav. On the magic phase, I dispelled the heal on the Paladin and he got 2d6 strength 4 on the Cavalry, which kills one of the guy, and also +1 resilience on the quest. Here I put for you the mass, so that's the attack from the Kadim Titan onto them without reroll to wound. So between the d3 +1 and my attack, I should do on average 3 wounds, that without also the fear check if he fails it. So I think, yeah, 3 on average, and then him striking back with -3 model, it's only 1 wound, so it's a charge in a banner, most likely a tie combat, but as you can see, it's dicey. I'm not at huge risk, I'm super mal, so even if I lose by 1, I have leadership 9 nearby. Not too shaky. For him, if he loses, that could be more dangerous. So I think overall the charge was not really worth it for him to put in danger scoring unit and get in combat with the Titan. I think it's too risky. But yeah, I was surprised by that, and to be honest, a bit unhappy that he failed it. Let's move on to my turn 2. Readjust to continue to solve the lantern problem, and I quickly realized that those guys are trapped and there is nothing I can really do to save them right now. I start to push on the left to try to come closer to the breakthrough zone, but as I told you, I need to like wheel the Lugars to cover as a counter charge, and therefore I cannot really threaten those guys. He has still enough unit to threaten me, and he keeps this guy here close to the Lugars that have a fire attack, and he has a fire ward save. Not so easy to really push, and there is this piece of terrain that is really annoying because it can break my steadfast, meaning I cannot take a position in it. So yeah, not feeling great. In the magic phase, a breast weapon, kill I think 4 of the archer, but he passes the check. Gravecall got dispelled with both 4 dice, and then got Mark for Doom on his 2 remaining Paladin. Was excited, but I roll a 1 to wound, so that's too bad. Yeah, he passes. He had a panic, I think, on a 7 on the archer that was passed. I would have really liked those guys to flee because this would create an automatic panic check here that would also be non-rollable out of bubble and most likely very hard to take. So that could have been a good way to solve the issue on the left, but didn't happen. His turn 3, he starts to activate on the right, so he pushes the knight in a way that I cannot charge him anymore. Yeah, I'm a bit too far from the situation, but he makes sure if I charge, I cannot overrun here. I didn't want those guys to be able to fly over me without getting charged, so I place multiple counter charge. So he prepares a trap, basically. If I charge here, he can charge me. Yeah, nothing I can really do here on the right. This unit will be lost. It's just a question of how can I punish his placement. Last turn I couldn't have taken the charge here because I was afraid of failing due to the lantern moving over me. I have only movement 4 swift right, so it was a long charge, like a 10 I guess swift. So if I fail, I get then eaten by the realm boss, and that's a huge issue, so I couldn't take the charge here. Anyway, I was here. Let's move on to the magic. The rest on the left just readjust. He repositioned the paladin far away from Mark for Doom because he didn't want to die. In the magic phase, he got 2d6 strength 4 that failed on the Lugar due to the magical resistance and got a stone skin on the quest. And he killed a couple of vassals with shooting. My turn 3. I elected let's charge the lantern, and I came up with a plan to bring both single model as a punishment. So telling him, if you charge me, I will charge you. This lantern is too far away to chaff Titan, and this guy is fleeing. So I was feeling okay that I can get some good charges. On the left, I start to push, being careful about the water. I just completely ignore those guys, just trying to do some magic. Still the same plan, panic those guys, make them flee off the board, panic those guys, they flee as well. So that's still, I stick to the plan, and I keep all these units protecting themselves in case he charges something, I can counter charge. Magic phase, I got Grave Cold, kill 2 archers, and then which is the first panic check on the 7 is passed. I think is rerollable. I don't, maybe it's even 8 due to the mage. Maybe it's like 8 rerollable. I think rerollable because he has like extensive BSB. So it could have been 8 rerollable, but he passes 1 check on the Grave Call and 1 check on the breast weapon. So he's all fine. I kill a total of 4, so not so crazy. Also annoying for me to use this occultist spell on archers and not getting rid of them, so not being so successful. And then close combat, for some reason I will forget about my plan. I will kill the lantern, and then I see that I can overrun on a 9 and be out of arc of them. But still those guys look me in the flank. So I don't know why, but for some reason I overrun. And this brings me with those guys really far away from them, so they can just easily charge me, overrun, and I have no punishment. So yeah, really annoying to see the picture, because I don't know why I forgot the initial plan. The initial plan was to stick, get charged, get killed, and then counter charge and punish him. So yeah, really annoying. As you can see, left flank, he continues to defend. Magic phase. What happened? I think he got +1 to hit on his close combat unit, 2d6 strength 4 on the Lugar, got dispel. He got stone skin on the quest, and then I let him heal. I think, did he heal something? Heal one wound of the paladin, I think. And then close combat, he passes the fear check, do enough on the anointed to break me. I have a hard check to make. He could run me down, and I cannot punish him. So yeah, getting frustrating, trying to move into attacking mode. I push the Titan in the forest to punish him here. Prepare the chaff in case I need to. Push slightly with the brick to prepare some breakthrough. And then I bring the Overlord to basically zone those guys and tell them you cannot break through here. That's at least the idea. In the magic phase, I get a breast weapon, kill 5 of the archer, but it passes the panic check. I fail the grave call on 4 dice, then that's his turn. He moves his lantern over my Overlord and then back to make me -3. Those guys stay here ready to break through. He plays the paladin as a counter charge in case I make it. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's what happened. He turned around to face me, plays multiple guys, seeing here the flank in case I charge. Move those guys forward, ready to chaff me turn 6. So they continue to be very annoying for me. Magic phase, he healed his lord. No, I think he didn't heal last turn, but this time I allowed it. As you can see, also the wall are very useful for him, because if I want to push here, he can still be behind the wall and I cannot really shoot him. So like I said, the map was really, really annoying. What else? I think, yeah, that's all. You got stone skin on the cave boss, again on the big cave boss, this one here in the middle. I think I took the time out at this point of time with some of my teammates to see if I want to elect the charge or not with the Titan. Could have been interesting. I was afraid of the counter charge he has, but could have allowed me to push quite hard, so that could have been an option. But in the end, we didn't take it. I think it's something we can discuss about, to be honest, because it would have been interesting to put the Titan in this combat and then push with everything forward and tell him you have choices to make. And those guys could have also pushed and be in the breakthrough zone straight at the beginning of my 5. And then I'm in a position to threaten him for the secondary and everything. But overall, what also plays a role in the decision, we were doing great in the round, so we didn't feel the risk was necessary. My 5, so I didn't charge here. I placed the Titan to try to help me protect the breakthrough. I made sure that the lantern cannot chaff me, but he can just chaff me with the paladin actually. And those guys fail charge on the lantern. A move that I didn't think about during the game was just to use the fast cav to make a line here. I think was doable, to not allow him to get into the breakthrough. And if he charged, I just flee. I think that was doable, so I should have done that, actually use the fast cav to block the breakthrough. I didn't see it during the battle, just saw it with the pictures. Yeah, Magic, I will Gravecall and kill the archers. Those guys will pass panic check. I think they are really far away, so that might have been a 7 non-rerollable, which he passes. Unfortunately for me, and or even a 6. I think they have leadership 6 anyway. So annoying between Magic and shooting. I kill those archer and nothing else. He's turn 6. He moves into the breakthrough, so I can charge him. This will be a steadfast. That's going to be shaky. I charge with the paladin to block the Lugars from entering to the breakthrough zone, but he forgot that those guys are relentless and can go in. And Magic phase, I banish all stone skin. He heal the Lord to full value, I think, to full life, and also got hereditary. Close combat, yeah, we stick here. We're going to stick it in the end. My 6, I charge into this combat. He put himself leadership 9 with an Horizon token, which is interesting. So it's going to be a 8 steadfast, and the secondary will be measured on that. Nothing crazy. I also took the charge here on the lantern to get some point. Magic, nothing crazy to talk to you about. Try to took those points. I think I didn't take it. He passes another panic, I think. Here we stick. Here I'm in the breakthrough zone with the vassals. Here he managed to pass forward, say 5 up out of 5, and managed to stick, so I don't take the lantern. And on the far right, give me the champion. It's a leadership 8 non-rollable that he passes. So yeah, he didn't fail any of those leadership check, especially the last one that matters a lot, but I could have played way better. It's this type of battle report where I needed some days between the time I recorded the French and the English version, because it was just for me annoying to see the mistakes and the suboptimal plays on the micro level that I made in this battle report. There was plenty of things to point out at, and overall I felt a lot of missed opportunity for me. Ended up being a 10-10, so not so bad overall. Was enough for the team, but just frustrated to what I displayed. Could have done much better. Let's come back at that. I didn't counter deploy well. I will show you afterwards what I should have done. The lantern issue forced me to readjust and not be as aggressive as I wanted to. Expected to get rid of the skirmisher, quicker. This was an issue for the secondary, because those guys surviving were able to chaff me and annoy me. I should have had a unit on this left flank targeting them. Did I lack aggressivity with the Titan, thinking about the timeout on turn 5? Could have charged, push everything forward. We felt it was too risky, but would have been interesting at least. Chaff unused, out of position, and didn't allow me to push turn 5. And especially, I think worth mentioning, I felt, looking at the picture, that the Chaff would have been able to block the breakthrough. Turn 2 KOE, I think that's his biggest mistake. He wasn't punished for it, but the Sergeant charge was too dicey and too risky for him, and that's the unit at the end that gave him the draw on the secondary. Turn 3 Infernal Dwarves, I don't know why I overrun. It wasn't the plan, it wasn't my choice, and for some reason I thought about it and made it, and then I was like, oh no, that wasn't the idea. So yeah, it was completely stupid. Turn 5 Infernal Dwarves, the fail charge didn't allow the Titan to get into a better position. They fail charge from the Vassal Cav, but I think that's a detail. Turn 6, I did the last discipline check. That matters a lot. Matters like 4 points, so matters a lot. Let's come back to deployment. The two zones where I really fucked up is the left flank, those units, and the management also of the lantern, where I lacked anticipation. What I could have done is, first of all, deploy the Anointed on the left flank and make sure that those guys, their prime target is to get into combat with those guys, or at least not allow him to deploy here, because he would have maybe not deploy here and deploy them on the other flank, which is totally fine for me. And then just allow me to push forward and target the breakthrough. So I think those guys should have been strong flank. Second aspect, I want to chaff this unit. It's the main unit I want to stop, and I'm afraid of due to the ranks. So let's prepare the Vassal Levies and the Vassal Cav more in the middle to, first of all, it's not the perfect placement, because those guys, I think they have two targets. The first target is to block the lantern, so make sure I cover all type of line of sight to charge them. And the second aspect would have been to be used further later in the game to chaff some cavalry unit in the middle. So I think here some positioning to find exactly to block those lanterns. And then Titan Overlord, I think the Titan belong more to the middle. We can also argue left flank is also a decent choice. Try to push hard on the left flank. Could have been very dangerous for him. Can also be in the middle playing with the hill and threaten the cavalry block is also decent. And the Overlord, I think, on the far right. It's typically the type of matchup where he hasn't so many good answers on the Titan outside of the Paladin. So if I have the Titan closer to the Bastion, I think it's problematic for him. So it can be strong flank, it can be more weaker flank, middle of the map. But I think on the right it's less of a good option. And as you saw, I wasn't able to do anything relevant. And last but not least, the Overlord, I think, is a great piece to play on the right. Could have been a bit further down to not be run over by those guys. Like I said, I need to block them and make sure if they move anywhere here, I can charge them straight away. And then the Overlord can move to the side, can do stuff and block the breakthrough. Basically, the main role of the Overlord would have been to block the right flank and not let him have any breakthrough here. So I think due to the lack of knowledge of the Lantern especially, I made some mistakes in the deployment. And overall, I made multiple mistakes in the deployment to make it less optimal than what I wanted. And therefore, in the end, I wasn't able to win it, basically. The round overall went really well, so I'm frustrated on a personal level and more about the mistakes that I made during the battle, which were quite a lot. But overall, the tournament is going really well. I mean, we have 3 wins, we have a lot of points in advance, so it's going well. But in terms of training, obviously, I'm targeting any flaws in my game, any mistakes that I'm doing to try to get better. And that's always my prime target, like you see. So yeah, overall, we made a good round. We got some good wins, and that's enough to be 1 point close to the cap. So very good victory for us. Guys, that's all for this battle report. Thanks a lot for watching it, and we'll talk soon for the 4th game of the tournament. Bye.